Happy Thanksgiving! If you remember last year, I was just getting the YouTube channel started. I started in September of 2020. So I hadn't really established myself or any traditions yet, but last year I did a week of movies that I appreciate. And I decided I'll kind of keep doing that a little bit, as much as possible. The issue is that I will eventually run out of movies to appreciate that I haven't already talked about. But somehow, I just didn't put my favorite movie of all time on the list. And this is a movie that I've loved since I was a child. When I was like, I don't know, 12 or 13, my parents showed me this movie. They were like, hey, come watch this movie. And I was like, okay. And I did, and honestly, I can firmly say my life has never been the same since. So today, we're going to be talking about The Breakfast Club. The Breakfast Club was released in 1985, and it was written and directed by the wonderful John Hughes. I have a Blu-ray of it on this special edition. It is the 30-year anniversary edition of 3 of his movies, and it's just really good. It's a good collection if you want to check it out. It has Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, and Weird Science, 3 John Hughes staples. And I have always been a John Hughes fan. I mean, I'm a diehard fan. I'm hoping that we get to a phase where we bring back these good young adult movies, because as much as I like John Green, his movies aren't particularly fantastic. I want good young adult original films. I just want something relatable, and recently we haven't gotten any of those because none of them work. The one that was closest, unfortunately, was Paper Spiders, which is a wonderful film. If you haven't checked it out, definitely do so. It came out this year. It's my 3rd favorite movie of the year, and what I find interesting about it is it's so relatable, even though it's so freaking depressing. So check it out if you're interested in that. But today we're talking about The Breakfast Club, and there's a spot in my heart for this movie. It taught me a lot. There are 2 things that I consider to be huge impacts on my life. One of them being The Breakfast Club, the second one being The Perks of Being a Wallflower, both of which I discovered in about the same time period. And for those of you who don't know what The Breakfast Club is, it's these 5 people that get detention, and they all are very different people who eventually learn to accept that they're different, even though they all have like similarities, and they all converge into one person, basically. They all kind of recognize that they can find similarities within their differences, and that it's okay to be different, and just because you're different doesn't mean that you are not okay. And that's the main theme of the film, and it works. It delivers that powerfully. I firmly believe that if you don't like this film, you don't understand it, and that's okay. I mean, that's totally fine. It doesn't mean you're stupid or anything. I genuinely believe if you don't like this movie, there's a good chance it is because you did not pay attention enough to understand what was actually happening here. I want to take a moment to mention my favorite character here, which is Bender, played by Judd Nelson. And it's not that I even related to this character a whole lot. It's just because we don't have a whole lot of these where I'm from. Like, there's these straight-up bad boys who crack these funny jokes and all that. And I definitely think that I adapted the funny joke part of his personality. I mean, I don't think that I'm very funny in my YouTube videos. I don't plan jokes. If I happen to be funny, I'm funny, but it's not like something I try to do. But when I'm in a public space, I do believe that I'm a funny person. I like to be funny. I like to make people laugh. Like, seeing people smile and laugh is like my thing in life. Like, if I wasn't funny, I don't think I would want to be alive right now. I genuinely believe that I like making people laugh and make them smile. I think that just like lightens up my day. But I think that really comes down to root with this character who made me smile this whole time. And it's not because he's a bully, because I don't really believe he's a bully. In fact, a lot of his jokes are self-inflicted. And a lot of his jokes are questions. They're like, especially with Claire, he doesn't really call her a whore or anything, but he's just questioning her, and she's starting to realize that she doesn't like herself the way that she is, and he's just wondering why. And that's just like really interesting, because all these characters have things that you don't like about them and things that you like about them. Like Bender, you feel sorry for him because his parents suck, and his life kind of sucks, and it's not entirely his fault because you can tell he's smart. And that's just like really good stuff. But really, I think the most character that I really like, related to the most was the Brain. I think that, not that I think I'm a smart person or anything, like, I think I am, but I don't think I'm like the smartest person in the whole world. But like, definitely that kind of feel of like, if I don't get a good score, I feel bad. Not because I'm stupid or anything, but just because I didn't try as hard as I could to get that grade. And I feel like I'm definitely a good mix between those two, and that's why I think this movie's so special, is that everyone's going to have someone that they relate to in this film. There's not a single person who can sit there and watch this movie and tell me they can't relate to a single character. I would be shocked if that were true. And if you do relate to these characters, you just might not want to tell people because you are afraid of who it is. But all of them are such unique characters, and that's something that John Hughes really brings to the table. One John Hughes movie I don't like is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I did not like that movie largely because the characters kind of suck. They're all kind of boring. Chevy Chase is garbage in my opinion. I didn't like it. Every other John Hughes movie though, love it. I really do. I love it a lot. I think it's just fun and unique, and he brings things to the table that honestly just we're too afraid to do these days. And this is a timeless movie. This movie doesn't seem old. When you watch it, you're like, wow, yeah, that's just like what high school was like 2 years ago. And I feel like we need more of these movies that are not afraid to take the teenage experience and put it in front of audiences. And yeah, this movie is rated R, and that's fine. But like, you think to yourself a little bit, you're like, man, teenagers need to be able to see rated R films if they're like this. I think that ratings are kind of strange in the fact that we hide this material from the people who need it the most. I find that a little unnerving. I'm sorry, I'm just now realizing it's snowing outside for the first time this year, and that's scary. But anyway, I just think it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful film. It is definitely my favorite film of all time. I think it is quite literally a perfect film. I'm going to go ahead and give The Breakfast Club an A+. Have you seen The Breakfast Club? Let me know down in the comments down below what you thought of it. What character did you relate to the most? I am curious to see that. Maybe one day for like media project I'll do like a poll to see like who relates to who the most. But definitely consider doing that because it's a huge, huge help for me. And as always, keep watching movies and television, stay educated, and I'll see you guys in the next video.